Why, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fun with Flame. I'm your host, Danieltheflame, and I would like to say congratulations to me and all of you who happen to become one of my little subscribbles because I have reached over 100. And this is not a big deal because I don't care, but I do care, which is why I'm doing this. But I decided to do something that I'm going to do from now on because it seems funny and it seems appropriate to do. But I'm just going to respond to like comments on essentially my previous video from the time in which I reached a certain milestone that I care to acknowledge within this YouTube bubble. Now, again, I don't do this stuff full time. I only do it for fun. So whatever I do is whatever I do. But it's still, ha ha ha, classic comedy. So I'm going to respond to the stuff that happened on my previous video in which I titled it, what was it called again? Hold on. Let me look. Dude, just shut up. A vow never had a chance. It was like the very last video I just did, and I've just been responding to a bunch of the comments that have been in it, and I've been losing my damn mind because it's just been a bunch of stuff of just, at first it was so many people who just, they got the right idea, and then, there's always there's just some that pop up that just say the craziest shit that just obviously explains that they have no idea what the hell you're talking about because they can't get their feelings out of the conversation. It's like they're not listening to what you're saying. They're just going based off of how they feel about the topic at hand, regardless of the evidence, regardless of the logic, regardless of the proof or anything like that. It's just that you can't say that because I feel they feel the dumbest shit ever. But I told I put in one of my responses to a comment, I was like, I'm going to make a video about this comment because of how stupid it was. And here I am fulfilling my promise. I do not disappoint. So to give a little context towards what the promise is, and don't worry, I'm going to put a link to my video that this is referring to so you can all read the comment section of this shit show. But to give a little context behind what is going on, essentially someone commented to the fact of what I said, and they were essentially saying that what I'm doing is political, or that and then responding to this stuff is always essentially intended to be political. I'm paraphrasing, of course, and that realistically, this isn't a bad thing within a game, and obviously I shouldn't talk about it. It's not that big of a deal. Why am I making such a big old fussy? But so this was a response to what I said, and then I'm going to give you the response that made me want to make this video. So this is what my response was towards that little fussy, little hissy bit. What the game is doing is political. This is me. What the game is doing is political. What I'm doing is called logic and reasoning. You should not have to choose the pronouns of a character. Just pick the character you want to be, and the game should call you just that. If you pick a man, you're a man. If you pick a woman, then you're a woman. Games have done it before, so why the change? Note that goddamn question, okay? Because this is a major problem with these types of people, is that they don't answer those questions, okay? So just note that question. One word, politics. There is something wrong with it because it doesn't add anything to the game. It only signals. And worst of all, it doesn't make them any money. I'm still continuing my retort, by the way. It doesn't make them any money. People would stop bitching if they stopped doing the stupid dance. That was my statement. That was my comment that responded to a previous comment. The comment previous to this doesn't really matter, but they're going to respond again, and I'm gonna get to that too because it too is stupid and funny. So that was that. Now underneath that, I also added I also added this, but person who responded to this kind of ignored this statement, but still, I just feel like saying it because I find it informative. I get it now. This is my statement. I get it now. You are confused. This will always be a political topic because no one asked for this. They just force this into games. And everything can't be political because the concept of choosing between a man or a woman has existed in video games for a long time with no problems. Am I wrong there? I don't think so. But the concept of pronouns has not. Early Pokemon games didn't have pronouns, but you could choose between a boy or a girl. And you're gonna sit there and tell me this was a political move? And from what has been revealed so far, this whole game has an agenda, but you are just too confused to see it. Now, the game in question is what the video is about, which is Avowed. And the topic of my video, because I made it really short, but the topic of my video was in the fact that essentially it got revealed that they are forcing you to pick between having pronouns within the game, something that does nothing towards a video game. And I was stating on the fact that it's negative because it does nothing towards the game, and it is never proven to actually be a positive, a net positive for video games, let alone to be revolved or to have any type of integrity behind it outside of virtue signaling or being political or any of that nonsense. And I was stating the fact that essentially, much like the question earlier, keep remembering that damn question. Remember that question. Why the change? If it if it hasn't done anything, then it's like games have done it before, so why the change? Why have that change in there if games have allowed you to pick between being a man or a woman, and there have been no issues with that so far? So that essentially was my statement and what I brought up. Here comes the stupid. This is the crazy train that just made me want to do this. Okay, so I don't even know how to pronounce this. I don't care to. But they said what you're doing is also political, regardless of your rhetoric. How brain dead could you possibly be for that to be your opening statement towards what it is I'm talking about? Because again, that immediately disavows anything that you're going to say, because what you have literally just said is that fuck all the logic and the evidence and what it is that I'm talking about, or what it is my video was about. It is because they said it is. This is how you know someone is so stupid and unbelievably fucking dumb. Jesus Christ, what is the name? Porthos? I don't know. But it's like, seriously, to go regardless of your rhetoric. What? That's literally the whole point. That's the whole point of what I'm talking about. Without the rhetoric, then I'm not saying anything, but I'm literally discussing and talking about a rhetoric. I'm bringing up a topic and what that topic has done within an industry and how it has proven time and time again to not work. This isn't a feelings concept. This is a factual thing. This hasn't worked in any game that has displayed this concept ever. So why do they continue to do it unless it was for them to push in a political agenda? Me calling it out does not mean that I'm political. I'm just calling out the stupid. But to not understand that, you yourself have to be what? Fucking stupid. So that's just the beginning of this shit. But it goes on. Trying to reinforce the status quo, especially when it involves marginalization, is pretty high on the this is political chart. I am not trying to reinforce the status quo, you dumb bastard. See, this is, again, further proof to where it's like someone who immediately took some shit and ran the fuck off with it without listening to anything that was stated. I didn't say anything about the status quo being established or that not changing the status quo. What I'm talking about is how the current development of the game, or the current concept that is being implemented into this game, is something that has been proven to be negative. It's not positive. It doesn't add anything towards the video game. It doesn't do anything well that people respond to. The fact that the people themselves, upon showcasing the game, hid this factoid, and it had to get revealed in order for them to try and then for them to backpedal and try to justify that yes, they did it, which again only lets you further know that they're going to have more elements within the video game that is going to double down on that mindset, because if they force you to pick a fucking pronoun, guess what? There are going to be people in the game that are going to have fucking pronouns because they did it in Starfield. What makes this any different? So again, to completely ignore all of those factors that have existed in all these other video games that have done this bullshit is retarded. But again, this is someone who immediately said in the beginning, regardless of the rhetoric. So fucking stupid. Again, I had to like just get off of this bullshit and go to sleep so I can wake up and prepare to do this video, because this is, again, it's just goofy. So fucking goofy. It's like you're going against the status quo of marginalization. This isn't marginalization. This is someone forcing an element in a video game that no one asked for. When has any gamer anywhere asked to have a fucking pronoun thing added to a video game? That doesn't do anything. So why have it? Did you have it to where it's an option to be able? And it's like, if you wanted to put an option to be able to have a character be called by a different pronoun, okay. To have an option to not engage in that concept would also be a valued or an apparent thing that you can have within your video game. Then that essentially would cancel out the rhetoric of essentially getting mad at it, because then it's like, well, it's there and you can choose to engage in it or choose not to. The same similarity of being like, hey, you can choose to be a boy or choose to be a girl, but that's not what the game does. The game forces you to see that you're going to be qualified or going to be associated with a fucking pronoun, because that's how the developers wanted you to be associated with while you're playing this game. They got that glaring thing blazing in your face every fucking time you press the start menu, so you're reminded as to who it is that made this game and how fucking stupid they are and how stupid they think you are for keeping that concept. So let's get back to the dumbasses little take. Jesus Christ. Now, they're going off of from what I said, so they can respond to every little thing that I said. And again, this is funny. So from when I said, just pick the character you want to be and the game should call you just that. Their response. And how is the game supposed to do that without asking what character you want to be? What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have to explain what your pronoun is if you choose between being a man or a woman in a video game. Other games have done that. They've done that for a lot of games. For years they have been doing that. This pronoun shit is new. Something else that I've also stated in the previous comment before this one. But again, dealing with a fucking idiot. So it's like, how are they gonna know what pronoun, what to call you if you don't choose? You choose between a man or a woman. You don't then have to go into a subcategory and choose your fucking pronouns. If you want to play as a man and be referred to as a man, you pick the man. That's it. That's all that has to happen. That's all the depth you need to get into. What the fuck are you talking about? So stupid. Okay, and then they say further, allowing people to tell more diverse and inclusive stories isn't a negative. This has nothing to do with the story. This has been proven to have nothing to do with the story because it is only in the start menu, and then it was not talked about throughout the entirety of people reviewing or talking about their first impressions of the game. So that is a fallacy. So it's like, yes, that's not a thing. And it's like, just because they go on, just because that part is not a story you personally want to tell, ignore it and move on in that case. The game does not need to have it. The negative is that it exists because it does not need to exist. It is added unnecessary fluff that is only there for political reasons. It is not there to immerse you in a game to essentially have that element that people have wanted and needed and desired. It is not there as something to be introduced into a game in order to essentially give you a better, broader aspect on what the storytelling could possibly be or how the characters interact with one another or anything like that. They haven't admitted or said anything on that aspect. The main thing that they talked about within the story is the fact that you could just be a bad guy, whatever the fuck that means, because who knows what the hell Obsidian believes is bad? I don't know, but they only explain it's like, well, if you want to be mean to somebody, give them a kerfuffle. You can, but what the fuck does that got to do with your pronouns? What the fuck does that have to do with how you're associated or talked to within the game? Did they mention anything of that? They did not. Did they give any information or reference that would be something to be dove into or be because that's a very detailed, specific concept to have for a character customization that I would definitely promote if I was to get that fine-tuned within a fucking video game. Did they promote or say anything about that? No, they didn't. Which means that this imaginary fuck show that you got going on in your mind by thinking that pronouns appearing on a start screen matter, or your menu screen matter, it just proves exactly how dumb you truly are, because this is entirely stupid. Boy, this is funny. Okay, so from what I said, if you pick a man, you're a man. If you pick a woman, then you're a woman. How is it that you use this for this part, but this statement literally answers the bullshit that you said from the last little statement, the last little sentence that I had. Yet you made this a separate thing. It's not a separate thing. This is all a part of one paragraph. So, Jesus Christ, I'm finding more and more ways to think, man, this person's a fucking idiot. See, I was being respectful to this person because I don't know what you are, but I'm just calling you a person because I don't know what you are. Maybe the game should have question marks. Wouldn't that be swell? You want it to be neither or neither. Skip it. You just be a fucking question mark. The whole game you should be a question mark, and then everyone in the game just calls you this person. Like that thing, that person, who's a what's it? Yeah, they're the heroes that saved the princess. Fucking Magic Man. Oh no, you can't say that. Fuck. Okay. I digress. From when they said what I said, if you pick a man, you pick a man. If you pick a woman, then you're a woman. In a world of options, why bother with limits? In a world with options, why bother with limits? So stupid. Stupid. In a world with options, why bother with limits? Let me finish. I just stopped right there, but there's still more. In a world with options, why bother with limits that don't even describe the natural world? What? When the fuck did they make up new genders? I mean scientifically, when have they made new genders? Because if it's only a man and a woman that exists, not your emotions on what you think you are, if there's only a man and a woman that exists, and then you can pick between a man and a woman, how am I wrong? I'm not wrong. Now, I'm not saying what you emotionally think or feel, you dumb cunt. I'm talking about what's actually pickable and a scientifically actual thing you can do inside of a game, because you're going based off of pronouns. If your dumb ass want your world of options to not bother with limits, then why isn't that you can't play a game as a dog? Why can't you play a game as a cat? Maybe because there is a game where you can be a cat and there's a game you can be a dog. You know what? Fuck it. Both of those games offend me because I want to be cat dog. There you go. Now what? Shit, there's still more. God, this person is dumb. And it was like when it doesn't even describe the natural world. Comfort with a question mark? Like, is it because it's comfortable to think of only two things? It's like, no, bitch, there is only two things. Regardless of what you feel, to sit there and try to get into everyone's mass delusion and to have that into a game would basically have you under the pretext of essentially just making a game based off of creating a character. But then you couldn't even possibly program that many different fucking talking points within a game to be referred to as every different type of speech or pronoun that someone wants to be associated with, especially considering the fact that people keep making up new ones constantly. Which is one of the main reasons is how you know that this shit is just as much of a fantasy as this goddamn game is. Because, bitch, if they're making it up on the fly and you believe that people have a right to adhere to what it is that they want, but if they just happen to boom, bust out the seams with a brand new one, wouldn't that mean that the game would have to undertake an entire overhaul just to adhere to that person's specific and particular pronouns? Because it would only be fair if they're going to at least include pronouns that are supposedly derived from everyone's fucking mass delusion. But that can't happen. Why not? Because that's retarded. Why would that be retarded? Because then that would have to basically program a whole game that would cost millions of dollars, just pay voice actors, pay the programmers, pay the developers, just to overhaul an entire game to add in a few different pronouns that probably got made up by one fucking person. Would that cost actually cover the entirety of what it is that they did to the game to justify doing that for the game? Remember my statement earlier about the fucking question mark of what I said in my earlier comment that I left responding to this bullshit. And it's like, if games have associated with just the boy and the girl concept, so why change it? What is the point of the change? This does not add options that then can immerse you into the world. It is just adding pronouns on the back end of a character's name, which does nothing. It does nothing. Because if it did something, they would talk about it. If it was worth of being a factor in the game, they would promote that. If this was something that people really, really wanted, they'd talk about it. But they kept that shit under wraps until it got revealed by Grums, and then you just got one guy essentially losing his goddamn mind and telling people, hey, this shit, it got so fucking out of hand that the motherfuckers start going around saying, I don't want white gamers playing my game. Jesus Christ. And then you got this cunt right here defending this nigga because they too stupid to understand that their way of thinking is a bankrupt mindset. There's no money in this. There's absolutely, before anything else, because my main point of origin and my whole fucking video that I did was that this shit is worthless. It ain't got no money in it. If there was money to be gained behind this, then there'd be no problem. I have no issue with this because then it's like, well, there's a bunch of people that are going to spend a bunch of money to play shit like this. But there's no one who's willing to spend a bunch of money to play shit like this. Remember when Concord got rid of their fucking pronouns and Concord still crashed and burned? Are you going to tell me that that was a good thing? That people were like, wait a minute, Concord. The reason we don't want to play you is because you got rid of the pronouns. It was totally cool for the robot to be gay because it's a robot. You fucking idiot. This is why they say the word cunt. This is why they say it, because it's a strong enough word to get the point across, but it's above bitch. It's like, you dumb cunt. Oh, man. Oh, the guy, I didn't even finish. Okay, it was like, It was like, and then it was like, it was like comfort with a question mark. That probably had an affliction when they were typing it. It's even a non-Earth fantasy world, for crying out loud. Did not Dragon Age the Veilguard do the exact same fucking thing? And that's hemorrhaging money. Case in point on that one. So you're dumb. You're so goddamn dumb. I'm reading this statement. This was put up like, they put this up like 22 hours ago from when I'm reading this, and I'm reading this on December the 7th. Right now it's December 7th. It's like 1 a.m. But that should tell you exactly how out of touch this person is with basically just the gaming sphere in general, because to them, it being a fantasy world justifies all the dumb modern day bullshit that's being put into it. When again, one of the main things that essentially was said by a lot of people who supported this type of rhetoric and mindset towards the pronoun shit in video games was that for a game like Starfield, because it was a futuristic setting, it would essentially adhere to this shit carrying over into the future, which is fucking crazy because shows like Star Wars and Star Trek don't have that, because why would they? That's modern day bullshit. It's the equivalent as to why those shows and those movies or anything set in the future and whatnot might have different slang or different words that mean different things, and that way how they speak and talk to each other is all adversely different, because yeah, culture and society would change over that long extended period of time. What is it? I'm about to say Zoe 101. Wasn't that a damn Disney Channel original movie? Had Raven as the girl's best friend, and she'd be like, "See, this is Peter's." Damn, I can't remember it. Oh man, memories. She had like 3 fucking movies. But yeah, just like that, then like that only goes to show you that was like people thought like, well, since it was the future, this shit would carry over. But for a fantasy setting and things with like Middle Ages or medieval times and things like that, where the notion and progression of essentially having a society to think of a binary standpoint towards sex and gender would essentially not matter, because they'll be dealing with far more regressed cultures and mindsets, because you're dealing with people who basically barely got indoor plumbing. So why would they think of essentially a they them or a he she or a it what? I'm clowning on your mindset because it's stupid. But again, when that was said, because you had people like fucking Asmongold, Actman, all these other dumb big YouTubers and streamers and shit like that talking about that, and they were like, yeah, in a fantasy setting with that timeline and whatnot, it wouldn't be appropriate to have that because it wouldn't make any sense. And then Dragon Age Veilguard came out and it did just that. And did any of those people sit there and tell, because when they was all attacking the heels versus babyface, did any of them say that, yeah, we were wrong? Obviously, the developers have lost their fucking minds and gaming is a cesspool of stupid right now. And then these motherfuckers keep losing money, which is the main goal of making a game. It ain't about sending a message. It's about making money, because you don't have a message. You're only signaling shit. That's not a message, you dumb cunt. So I gotta keep referring that because of how powerful it is to how stupid this is. And so again, so you thinking that it's a non-Earth fantasy world gives it a pass, when justifiably the same people who would essentially be on your side for this rhetoric or this political concept would have already stated that you're not supposed to do that. So again, I have to refer to you. What's the point of having it when it doesn't include or enhance or matter towards the game at all? You stupid bastard. Ooh. I keep going. Games have done it before. So from what I say, games have done it before. So why the change? Again, my question. That is taken essentially. I can't even say out of context, but it's like they're tackling each statement, they're tackling each sentence separately, even though it's all progressed into one big old rhetoric or one big chunk of me speaking, but it's like, let's break down bit by bit or each individual sentence. But it's like, yeah, but you're taking it, but like some of them continue, much like if I was to go, when you just put comfort and I was just to attack that, and it's like, what the fuck, that doesn't mean anything because the shit is it has context behind it. But hey, it's okay for you to do it, but no, I'm not, because I'm intelligent, so I'll just keep going. And it's like, games have done it before, so why the change? Is that supposed to be a joke? You immediately dismiss the question. You didn't answer it. You just immediately dismiss the question, which again lets me further know what you're about to say is going to be fucking retarded. It's just stupid. Okay. And here's the proof that it's going to be fucking retarded. Games are always changing what has been done before. Games are always changing what has been done before. Okay. This is true, but in the context of what we're talking about, why the change? You see how you could easily go like, when you take things out of context, you sound fucking retarded? Because that's exactly what you just did. You goddamn idiot. Okay, yeah. Games are always changing what has been done before. And it's like, yes, they have. But it doesn't answer what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that games have let you choose between two genders. So why change that? There is no reason to change that just to adhere to the notions of some crazy people, especially when adhering to those notions has proven to be financially stupid. Dumb fuck. And it's like, that's why you don't do it. It don't make you money. It's like, what the fuck? If we got to a point in time where this was so commonplace that unless you had this shit inside your game, people weren't gonna buy it, then yes, by all means, put it in your game. Otherwise, you're going to lose money, regardless of your politics. I would even adhere to that. And it's like, well, if we don't do it, we won't make any money. Well, what's the point of us making the game? To make money. That's the point of making a game. Right. But you put it inside of your game now. Is that a matter? And it's like, well, it's a factor because people actually want to put that in their game. If I'm making a first-person shooter and I don't have guns, I have fucked up. I have fucked up royally. And I can't expect for people to go, well, I don't believe in guns, so that's why I didn't put it in my game. Guess what, bitch? You have failed miserably because you did not pay attention or listen to what the gaming culture has asked for. The gaming culture has not asked for this. So why change anything? Why are you doing this? And it's like, well, if you had it, when it's like, well, going back, and it's like, to me, and it's like, so you would go against your mindset if this essentially was to help you get money? Yes, nigga. Because that's the point of me making what I'm making. If I'm sitting there making a game that's an RPG and you tell me that people love their character customization to go in depth even with their fucking pronouns, guess what? That would make sense that I need to put in fucking pronouns. Why? Because it would be commonplace in association with shit like a fucking stat screen or intelligence added on or luck or something like that. But that's not the case, because those things add elements and depth towards the game in general, towards the character, towards what's going on, towards the story. Your character can have a low enough intelligence to where they can't get past a certain element, so then you have to backtrack or find some things to increase your intelligence, otherwise you can't get through some shit. Want a proof of a game allowing you to do something like that? Motherfucking Persona. I love Persona. So there's proof on that aspect actually being a irrefutable concept added to a game to add some depth, because in Persona you're a kid going to school, so increasing your intelligence actually helps you within later portions of the game, as well as give you replay value, because your ass probably ain't gonna be that smart the first time you play the game, and you can get smarter the second time. Bam. That's how you add something to the game that actually gives it depth, meaning, perception, and some good ass clarity. Going around saying that you have a pronoun does nothing. And that's the point. That's the only point that I'm making. That is the main thing that I'm talking about. That's the only thing that I'm talking about. You want this to be political because the people who indulge in this bullshit are only doing it for politics. I'm not. I'm talking about why this don't matter. It just don't matter. So stop trying to say that it do matter or that times are changing and they're making it matter. They're not, because it still don't matter. You fucking idiot. Whew. I ain't even finished. They went on to say, did you argue along this line when games arrived that allowed you to pick a sex in a game when it where it doesn't matter? See, already. Jesus Christ, I shouldn't have went off the handle earlier because I already answered this bullshit before I even read it. That's my bad. That's my bad. You gotta remember, I've obviously already read this shit beforehand, but it's like my brain is still running 1,000 miles per second. So I apologize. But oh man, let me just read it in entire. Okay, is that supposed to be a joke? Games are always changing what has been done before. Did you argue along this line when games arrived that allowed you to pick a sex in a game where it doesn't matter? What game allows you to pick a sex where it doesn't matter? Allowing you to pick a sex adds immersion towards the fact that there are multiple sexes. There's a difference between a man and a woman in playing a game. And so typically in games that allow you to choose between a man or a woman give you actual differences. Whether it's in the fact to where you have a game like Mass Effect where genuinely the relationships that you can have within the game are vastly different depending on whether or not you're a man or a woman, greatly change the overall concept of the game, as well as the character dynamics, or even just the general overall playability of the game. A lot of people have replayed Mass Effect as a woman because things tend to be different when you play as a woman rather than when you play as a man. But no one argued against that because I know women exist. They're a thing. They're also this thing that play video games. I don't pick being a woman in a video game. Every time I've ever played Pokemon, I've always been a boy. I'm a boy. I'm a boy. I'm definitely a boy. I'm a big boy. Big boy. But yeah, women exist. I don't know how many fucking made up pronouns there are. And again, I still have to refer to you to the fact that they're made up fucking pronouns. And so again, this isn't something that was made up and then put into video games. This was an actual thing that exists. There is a boy, there is a girl. And so then you can choose between a boy and a girl. Hey, you are now immersed in this video game. There you go. And that's all that they needed to do. That's it. That's it. There's no argument against that. There's a net positive behind that, because again, not only does it open up different relationship aspects if you want to add that into a game, but even in the earlier or later games, it's just a simple fact that it's like, hey, girls like to play as girls. Guys like to play as guys. Sometimes a guy might play as a girl, sometimes a girl might play as a guy. Doesn't change anything, doesn't mean anything. It just, that's your preference. That is your preference. That's it. It's a concept of preference. It added preference towards the video game. They still made games where you played as only a man. They still made games where you might play only as a woman. But no one has disavowed those games or have run away from those games. Those games are just set in stone to who you're playing as. And you cannot deny or denounce the popularity of those concepts, because Tomb Raider is a big deal. Halo is a big deal. These are games that just genuinely have a set character that you can play as, and that's fine. Stupid fucker. It's not the same thing, you idiot. But again, you're too stupid to realize that because you're flowing off logic. I mean, you're flowing not with logic, but with emotions. And so you don't get it. You can't grasp that concept because you think they're the same entity when they're separate. They're incredibly separate. Whew. They followed up with, or a color chooser for skin tone. Again, you can prove that there's multiple skin tones. I've seen people with different skin tones. And again, to help with the immersion, you can see the skin tones. Someone telling me that they have a pronoun doesn't change the fact that I can still call them a boy or a girl, or call them a it, or a she, or a they. That's not a thing that can change. Like, I can still call you that, and it still would fit, because when people refer or ask for some shit, it's like, hey, who needs help? She does. It's like she sit there, got some bitch on the ground foaming at the dying of a peanut allergy, and it was like, oh my god. Who's allergic? She is. Oh, my pronouns are and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't operate on I can only operate on a man or a woman. Pick one, you dying bastard. Like, I'd rather die. Stupid fucker. What is your skin tone? I can go out and look at a white person all day long and call them black. Guess what? They're still white. These are not the same things. Now you're doing what is called cherry picking. And this is how dummies decide to think that this is how they can win an argument. They're not. Because again, you're cherry picking my statements to try and go along some weird type of concept. And then you're bringing up some shit that's not even relevant. This shit has never, ever, since the implication of having having to choose between a boy or girl or different skin tones inside of a video game, have ever caused a video game to lose money. Do you not understand how they don't correlate? These are not the same things. Ooh, I'm getting heated. Getting heated. If games always did what has been done before, you would still be playing Pong. First off, history lesson, motherfucker. Very first video game was a flight simulator for the American Air Force. That's the very first video game. It is not Pong. And again, Pong is so far derivative from that original little flight simulator. So I guess there was some diversity inside video games. It's just that was a military aspect thing used to train train fighter pilots. And don't tell me that it's not a video game. They had a scoring system. That's a video game. It was a computer generated thing that had a scoring system. Motherfucker, that's a video game. Pong was just one of the first video games that the general public was allowed to actually mess with. So again, you stupid fuck, you fucking with the wrong one. And then it's like, if games always did what has been done before, you would still be playing Pong. That's not true, because we've already had diversity in other forms of media, you dumb cunt. Because there have been other books before there were video games. There have been other forms of entertainment before video games. Those things have all been vastly different. So the notion of basically being able to program something to do a thing would always drive for it to have innovation. Making pronouns a concept in a video game is not innovative. It is political. If it was innovative, it would make money, because people would desire it, because it'd be new, fresh, and something intriguing that has been added towards video games. It has not. It has proven to not do that. They could have, but they didn't. Because I'm not saying that it couldn't have been done. What I'm saying is that it hasn't been done, and it won't be done, because it will always be associated with that negative asterisk around it as stupid. Fucking stupid, because it's followed along with some big ass gay shit. You dumb motherfucker. Whew. What is that show? It's a show called Billions. I'm getting off topic here, but I just got a point to make real quick. It's a show called Billions, and in that show, there's a character that happens to be non-binary. But one of the things is that that character shows up out the gate saying, "This is my name. I'm referred to with these pronouns. I'm non-binary." That character is a long-standing character because they are a character. They actually prove themselves to stay within the confines of the show because they happen to do shit that that character is known for doing. They are not known because of the pronouns or the non-binary shit. That character just happens to be non-binary. But no one sat there and talked about that show for having that character and then was like, oh, why even do that? Because the show didn't push that in the forefront of that being the entire concept behind that character. That character just happened to be that. And essentially, if video games was to have aspired to generalize that concept at first, maybe they could have did something. You had characters that essentially had pronouns. You had characters that were trans and shit like that. Maybe that actually could have been something that was a net positive and people being like, whatever. They just accepted, but you fucked it up. So, whatever. It was like, they're cis. I was continuing on what they did, but and it said they're cis. They added cis to what I'm saying, or to what I said. I said there is something wrong with it because it doesn't add anything to the game. It only signals. They put their cis is something wrong with it because it doesn't add anything to the game. It only signals. Oh. So you're gonna change my statement to fit your mentality because otherwise you couldn't possibly wrap your mind around what it is that I'm talking about because you're stupid. So that's the only thing I could think of to explain this and to rationalize it. But let's keep the party going. This is what they said from their cis is something wrong with it because it doesn't add anything to the game. It only signals. That's what I said. They said, just because you don't get anything out of it doesn't mean it didn't add anything. What? There is a play term that perfectly exemplifies this. It's a term in play called Chekhov's gun. And Chekhov's gun, the rule is that at any point in time someone mentions, talks about, or holds a gun in a play, at some point in time in the play, that gun has to be used. That is the rule of Chekhov's gun. Why? Because there is absolutely no fucking reason to mention some shit if you're not gonna utilize it. Because otherwise, it would be absolutely pointless, and thus making itself unbelievably stupid. This cunt, because their cis brain is so fucking stupid that they can't even understand that what they just said made absolutely no sense. So, just because you don't get anything out of it doesn't mean it didn't add anything. Yes, it does. That's exactly what that means, you stupid fucker. If you get nothing out of it, then it accomplished nothing. It exists as nothing. It is nothing. It doesn't have to be there. It's crafting in a JRPG that doesn't need crafting. It's so unnecessary. If you are able to change the clothes of your characters so you can best suit and have them look any way that you want, the fact that that does nothing towards the actual strength of the character or anything like that, it just showcases the physical aesthetic of the character. That gives you something because you want your character to look a certain way. You're getting something out of that. If your character is to be called either the chosen hero or the demon, then you being able to choose and utilize whether you're going down the good path or the bad path adds elements to the story because you get something out of that. I want to do renegade shit in Mass Effect 3. You're the bad guy. Then I want do good stuff in Fable. You're a hero. You get something out of that. Hey, you're a it. What does that do for your character? Nothing. What does that change in the dialogue option? Nothing. Does this impact the story in any way? Nah. Is anyone gonna treat me different because I'm called this? Nope. Then why did you make me do this? It. Because you're an it. You fucking it. You a cousin it. You goddamn it. Stupid it. So retarded. Oh man, this video is longer than the fucking video these comments are associated with, and I don't care. I just don't care. I really don't care. This shit is annoying and I need to talk about it. I gotta get this off my chest because I'm crazy. Anyone who's stuck in this long, hey, thank you. Woo, okay. Does that add anything? One could leverage, okay, they're going further. One could leverage this exact same phrase against this entire video. Ow. The video in which I'm talking about is shining a light on the fact that this is bullshit that doesn't do anything. I am being informative as well as speaking my mind. If anyone's getting anything out of it, it's me being able to have a platform to voice my voice. Whether or not you care to listen or you even agree with what I gotta say has nothing to do with the actual fact that this has done something. People who have listened it have done something. Whether or not you agree or disagree, it still did something. I might have not changed your mind, but motherfucker, I got you to write a comment. That means you did something. That means you got something out of this, whether it was negative or positive. You got something out of this. And now I'm making a video talking about it, which means I got something out of it too. Which means that what you just said makes no goddamn sense, you fucking moron. Whew, I'm so glad I'm not monetized yet. Again, I only got 100 subscribbles, so it's not like I gotta give a fuck about what I'm saying. Woo! All aboard the train. This guy's an idiot. Or an it. I don't know what they are. Give a fuck. Stupid is stupid. I don't care what you call yourself. Woo! The same race goes the entire video. But they further say, however, that would be reductive. However, that would be reductive. I'm pretty sure when they type that, their head like wobbled a little bit. Because I'm not gonna say anything because I kind of already did it, like talking about defending the video's existence itself. But yeah, it would be reductive to say this video does nothing. Doesn't mean anything. So that's reductive if you used to say that. No, you'd call yourself an idiot because you already just stated that you could say that this video doesn't mean anything, but the fact that you responded to this video means that it means something to you, to me, to someone else, whatever. So you acknowledging that you believe that this video means nothing, yet you responded to nothing, basically would make you, what the fucking moron? But that would be, let's say it, class, reductive. Goddamn idiot. Whew, let's keep the party going. I'm almost done. I swear I'm almost done. I swear. And this is from what I said. And worst of all, it doesn't make them any money. That is the crux of the argument. That is the main thing as to why this shit is so retarded, as to why I feel so passionately about it, because video games that I care about are being ruined by things that don't even make it money. And so they said, aside from it not being out yet, with a question mark, the fuck does that got to do with anything? Like that, What the fuck does that got to do with that statement? At worst, and the worst of all, it doesn't make them any money aside from it not being out yet. Again, your answers towards these statements is so disingenuous and stupid because it doesn't. You're not going against what I'm talking about. You're just bringing up something different entirely. And I'll show you. I'll show you what I mean, because they say metaphor. You know, the metaphor game by a guy who did Persona. Hey, Persona. What is like metaphor repentatio, like made plenty and it was woke as hell. What the fuck that gotta do with anything? What the fuck does it gotta do with that? How does that disavow my statement? And worst of all, it doesn't make them any money. This concept and the thing that I'm talking about when it comes to pronouns has proven time and time again when injected into video games has not made them any money. You are talking about a video game that you just consider woke. How the fuck do those two things correlate? How can you be so completely stupid and disingenuous that you just can't even comprehend the minimum of basically having an argument with somebody to basically keep a rational thought? Was that I wish I had the clip from Billy Madison to be like, this is not a rational thought. I wish I had that. I'm gonna just keep this raw. I'm not even gonna edit this video. I'm gonna just leave this one raw and have it up as a podcast thing. But do you see how stupid these people are? Like, do you get exactly why they're so dissatisfied with an argument of logic being brought up to them? Because they cannot argue back with logic, because they don't have any. It's just complete nonsense. That's all that they have. The statement that it decided to cherry pick. The statement it got was, and worst of all, it doesn't make them any money. That's what I said. Their response was, aside from it not being out yet, metaphor refantasio made plenty and it's woke as hell. Okay, but does the pronoun shit make any money? That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about. Does that make any money? It's not being out yet. It has been proven that whenever this shit gets revealed about a game, it tends to have them lose money. So then before, because people have pre-orders, people see a trailer for a game and they decide whether or not they want a game. When word of mouth gets out that this is the bullshit you got to deal with within a video game, because the avalanche effect that comes afterwards is that all this bullshit is going to be attached with it, because every time they have pronoun shit inside of a video game, all that bullshit is always attached with it. What would make you think that this would include a positive reception from gamers in general? Under what pretense could you possibly have for that to be a thing? That has never happened before, because that's also the other argument that I'm making. This shit has been proven time and time again to not work. So why is your argument the fact that you think, oh, another game is woke, it made money? That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. I'm not discussing woke video games entirely. That doesn't mean, that's not what this argument is about. This is about the fact that this game is forcibly making you choose to have pronouns, something everyone doesn't agree with, everyone doesn't want in a video game, and no one thinks that it holds any value in a game whatsoever. In a video game that is not mentioned, proven, or showcased that that concept is actually a net positive within the video game, outside of it just being virtue signaling. And so because of that, I am stating that they're not going to make money because people do not like the concept of virtue signaling within video games. It has been proven time and time again. Whether or not metaphor is woke to you don't mean shit to the argument that I'm making. And you too stupid to even understand that, because there's no follow-up behind that. They had no answer to that. They just said that and moved the fuck on. Fucking idiot. So, here's the last statement. Now, this is what I said. People would stop bitching if they stopped doing the stupid dance. That was the last thing I said. People would stop bitching if they stopped doing the stupid dance. So, obviously, this is a broad spectrum rant, like broad random ass little last line in a statement that I put in a comment. So there's nothing behind it. It's just kind of summarizing everything of what I said, and you can just be taken anyway. And they have a big ass fat thing to say to this, but everything else, whatever. or the previous one, and it's like, hey, it doesn't make them any money. Oh, metaphor was woke. What? Stupid. Whew. But it says, nah, y'all will always find something new to bitch about. That isn't a response to my thing. People stop bitching if they stop doing the stupid dance. Nah, y'all will always find something new to bitch about. Well, people have a tendency to not like bad things. So people also have a tendency to voice their opinion on bad things. Bitching about something because it actually is stupid, that might not be something you agree with or something that you like, but it's a natural occurrence from people because of the fact that something tends to be not good in their eyes. Whether or not you agree with the notion of the concept of them thinking that something isn't good or is good, that's besides the point. The fact remains is that people have opinions, and opinions can be justified or opinions can be batshit crazy. This opinion right here, batshit fucking Looney Tunes, but it's still an opinion. I can't tell you this isn't your opinion, this is your opinion. I can for damn sure tell you you're wrong and prove that you're wrong, which is what I'm doing, by the way. I don't know if you understand that. You tend to be very slow. I'm sorry. But you can have your opinion. That doesn't matter. That really don't fucking matter. But the thing is that this concept is something that people are genuinely upset about, that they genuinely don't like. And again, it does nothing for anybody. And so with that, if they stop doing it, people would not have a problem with their games. They could continue to make money. They don't have to add this bullshit. They could just make a game. But you're dealing with the morons. You're dealing with the slow people. You're dealing with the idiots. And so you get bullshit. They go on to say, even if it wasn't a profit motive. Okay, that was like the end of it altogether. Nah, y'all will always find something new to bitch about, even if it wasn't a profit motive. See last thing I just said, and it's like, yeah, that statement still stands for what I said. That's not the point of essentially people bitching in terms of what I'm talking about. Again, you cherry picked the last sentence that I said, and then you're just going off the rails by just saying some random shit. But that doesn't mean that what I'm talking about has context behind it, because it's associated with one statement. But you cherry picked because you're stupid. And so you're going to answer a bunch of stupid shit because you're only answering to the last sentence, but the last sentence has context behind it. But moron, right? You will stop bitching when you stop caring so much about what other people are doing or enjoying. You need to find some zen. Gay. Just gay. That's how you know it is gay, because that's gay. It's so gay. It's just gay. It's so gay, it's gorgeous. That's what it is. It's gorgeous how gay it is. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh my God. Oh, when you stop caring so much about what other people are doing or enjoying. I have every right, like you, to criticize and talk about different aspects within the video game, culture, world space, or circle, if it genuinely has the potential, probability, or the magnanimous effect of ruining games hereafter behind the rhetoric, mindset, or integrity that other people tend to present within a video game. Does that make any sense to you? I'll dumb it down. It is perfectly logical and makes so much sense to have a problem with something that has the potential of ruining something else that you tend to actually enjoy. Even though the other thing is something that you might not indulge in, the fact that you can see if this gets left unchecked, it can bleed into something I actually care about and ruin it. Then I have every right to be upset at what it is that is being done to the previous aforementioned thing. So, the fact that I care about video games enough to spot some bullshit being done in a video game, even though I already stated in the video that this is all referring to, that I don't play Obsidian video games, but I am seeing Obsidian do the same shit that has been done in Dragon Age Veilguard and a bunch of other fucking video and Starfield and other games could basically follow suit by thinking it is okay to put this in a video game regardless of monetary value and essentially virtue signal all the fuck that I want regardless of the after effect that this could possibly have. This concept led to the downfall of the Dragon Age game, a game I at first was looking forward to back when it was called Dreadwolf. Then motherfuckers got fired, motherfuckers quit, and then you was just left with some dumb motherfuckers. And now we have Veilguard, and it's shit. And I'm not playing it, I don't want to play it, but I'm a huge fan of Dragon Age. And so then seeing Obsidian do something the exact same fucking thing as Starfield did, which is a game I definitely don't want to play because it looks boring as hell. It's like, but seeing that, it would mean that essentially I would come to the conclusion that this shit has the effect of engaging and poisoning other things to ruin it on the exact same scale of that which I held Dragon Age into the same regard. And so because of that, I don't want to see other gaming franchises that I like get destroyed over some bullshit that has absolutely no place and is unwanted within the gaming sphere in general. And me calling it out is just that. Me calling it out. I'm being informative. I'm letting people know my thoughts on the thing. Whether you agree or disagree ain't got shit to do with me. I'm venting my frustration, and the people engaging in it are obviously for or against my opinion. That's all that there is. You have an inability to see that because you are stupid. I'm sorry. You are. There's no nicer way of putting it. You're dumb. You're just very dumb. You cherry picked a conversation so that way you could have an argument that no one was having. You completely disavowed the logic and the concepts that I brought up in my video as well as in my comment that you were responding to, just so you can sit there and have a conversation that, again, no one was having. And you completely let go of all notions of logic, regardless of the history that has been portrayed throughout video games that have dealt with this bullshit. You are an idiot. Now, another person responded, which actually was the arbiter of everything that this common thread was a part of, and essentially they responded to what I was saying, to other little concepts and stuff like that I was saying, but because there is like a clickcha, something like that, and they said, it was like, Danieltheflame, I can't believe you are still banging on about a player being asked how to be addressed, because in the game itself there's nothing more than that so far. So far, we don't know what else they're got going on so far. Even though so far, every game so far that's done that so far has proven so far to have all the bullshit so far that I've previously talked about so far in a game so far, because they don't know how to do anything else so far. Moron. So they also say, by your logic, we shouldn't evolve and change our society in any way, shape, or form. This is a different fucking person. But notice how they're saying the exact same fucking nonsense. Ain't got shit to do with the proof that I brought up in my concept or what I've stated. But it has everything to do with them thinking that, oh, if we don't change here, how will we change ever? So stupid. Oh, these types of people are the people, and it's like you could argue with them till you're blue in the face, and it's like you'll never change their mind. But immediately when you say something that just shatters their mentality, they are broken forever. They're the type of people that's like, once you say that good shit that they can't refute no matter what, they leave. They want to leave. They want to say something personally about you. They'll call you fat and ugly or whatever. They'll say you ain't got no fucking hairline, and then they'll fucking leave. And it's like they think they won the argument because that's the only way they can associate winning the argument. I said the last word. That means I won. Stupid. So stupid. Same rhetoric as the last person. Same disillusioned mindset of just not adhering to logic or listening to what I'm saying or even responding to what I'm saying. Just brought up some bullshit. So they continue to say, for example, oh boy, this is going to be a doozy. For example, we can just toss mentally ill people in jails because 40 years ago, that's what they did. 40 years ago, we didn't have the same medical advances as they did 40 years ago. So I mean, like, well, now we don't have, like, 40 years ago, they didn't have the same medical advances as we do. Even then, we still don't have, like, the right funding or political leaders to actually help these people in need. Like, you know, but there's so many factors as to what it is that can be done or should be done. But the fuck this got to do with pronouns being put into a video game and it not working and it not selling and not doing anything and just making people upset and not wanting to buy a video game? How do these things correlate? Explain to me how these things correlate. I need you to tell me how you thought of this concept and then you're thinking of pronouns in video games and it makes sense. Stupid motherfucker. Oh, so dumb. That's what they did. Because they did that, we should stay the same. That's stagnation. I'm not talking about stagnation. I'm talking about something that genuinely is nonsense. Does nothing. If you was to tell me you got to spend $400 to paint your shoelaces, I would go, why? And you tell me that's what people want to do. They want their shoelaces to be painted. And then I'll go outside and I'll see no one else shoelace painted. But you telling me you gotta have your shoelaces painted, but it costs $400. I must say I'm good. And if you call me a bigot because of it, there's something wrong with you. And it's like, there's nothing illegal about me painting my shoelaces. There's nothing that I have to do about painting my shoelaces. I don't get anything for painting my shoelaces, but it costs money to paint my shoelaces. Motherfucker, I'm not doing it. Because that's nonsense. It's pointless. It's stupid. But you believe that I have to do it. That makes you dumb. See, that's an analogy. That's how you make this shit correlate. You see how, because the thing I said was stupid, and the thing you said was stupid. So that's how they correlate, because it's stupid. Fucking idiot. No, there's still more. Oh, I'm not done yet, baby birds. I'm gonna still keep feeding you. Or we should still be sending, Jesus Christ, I don't even know if my video's still like hanging in there. It is. Jesus, an hour into them, man. They continue. I need to finish. Or we should still be sending 4 and 5-year-olds down chimneys to clean them. Because 200 years ago, that's what they did. Motherfucker, I don't know if you know this, but most apartment complexes ain't got chimneys anymore. So they got heaters. I mean, we can send them 4 or 5-year-olds in there to move them little cogs and twist them little knobs if they want to, get their little hands in the cracks. You ever seen Snow Train? No, Snowpiercer. That's the name of that. Snowpiercer. They had the little kids inside there moving all the cogs and get the little tiny bits. Yeah. That was set in a futuristic society. Uh-oh. He bringing it back. Yup, I sure did. Full circle. Yup. Use them 4 and 5-year-olds. Get their asses in there. Cleaning chimneys, you rich motherfucker. Wait, no, hold on. My apartment got a chimney. I'm on the top floor, though. It's okay. Shit. Oh, man. Oh, we could use them to clean chimneys, 'cause that's what they did 200 years ago. How the fuck does this correlate to something that does not matter in a video game? You see how disingenuous this shit is? These people are so sick and stupid. This is so stupid. Honestly, you are more annoying than the game asking players how to refer to them. You're more annoying than a 5-year-old stuck in the chimney. God damn it. I told you to get the soot in the corner. I can't reach that far. Get your ass out. It's like, get this corner and then get there. I'm stuck. Like, fuck. We're gonna sit here and be cold all winter because you keep fucking up with me. Oh, man. You know, innovation made those little log cleaner things that you can burn inside your chimney, and it actually removes a lot of the dust and soot and shit from around the sides and whatnot. But you wouldn't know anything about that because, you know, you still thinking about the 4 and 5-year-olds from 200 years ago. You goddamn idiot. See, when you own a chimney, you gotta know these things. You gotta know these things when you own a chimney. But when you own a chimney, sometimes you forget that you own a chimney because it's such a lavish detail to have. Just ooh, chimney owners. We're a different breed of people, I'm telling you. Just so different. Ooh. I'm wasting time and I'm sorry, but this is so stupid. Oh, God, man. Did your parents make you clean chimneys? That's what I'm thinking. That's why they brought this up. You got some internalized trauma because got parents still got some archaic methods from 200 years ago. It's family tradition. You gotta clean the chimney when you 4 or 5, and then afterwards your little brother got to do it, and you got to show them how you did it and not get stuck. Otherwise, you just gonna smell, you know, smoked kid the rest of winter until they lose weight and fall down. But they burn their feet. They land on the fire. So stupid. Oh, I need to go to bed. Oh, you are creating, they go on to say, you are creating a huge issue out of nothing. Now, this is I'm not creating a huge issue. This is a huge issue because the gaming sphere has been tainted by this mindset. Now, being serious for a moment, I already spoke on the fact that, again, the after effects of letting this shit go unchecked has only led to the most dumbass and deranged mindsets within the scope of video games. And it has only done it harm. It has not done it any positive. So because of that, I naturally would not like to see any of this bullshit happen because of the fact that it does not do anything positive, which then begs the question, why do it if it has absolutely no type of effect, positive or monetary wise, within the sphere of gaming? Which is the thing that these people, for whatever reason, completely ignore in order for them to adhere to their dumbass mentality of following their emotions. You should have pronouns because people have pronouns. That doesn't fucking mean anything if I'm not getting anything out of it. Why would I waste precious time, money, developers, abilities, programmers, and shit like that to put something in a game that is getting me zero return for nothing? Just because I feel like virtue signaling? That's stupid, because that's all that it's for. I'm not making this shit up as like a thing that's being done and then I'm trying to paint in a negative light. I'm explaining exactly what it is. It is adding pronouns to a game so you can be called or referred to as said pronoun. But what does that do for the game if games have already existed by you being able to choose what gender you want to be between a man and a woman, and then that game itself having the dialogue already adhere to choosing between a man and a woman? What the fuck do you need to add the notion of pronouns for? That does nothing towards the generalized concept of picking a man and a woman and having the dialogue change for the notion of a man or a woman. Fucking idiots. Whew. And it was like, and then they said, and this is the last thing they said, and I am starting to understand why developers are calling gamers losers. Whew. Now, this was my response in my comment section towards that last little snippet, because that's how you know you're dealing with a fucking idiot. I said, developers are calling gamers, the people that they need to sell games to, losers. And you, clicker, understand that. That's retarded. This whole statement is retarded. But don't worry, I'm here to help you. And I hope that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did, because I've explained in grandiose detail exactly why these motherfuckers are out of their goddamn mind. But whether or not they care to listen, they ain't got nothing to do with me, baby. But for damn sure, no, I'm gonna keep talking about this shit because it needs to be talking about. It needs to be talked about. Shit. Now, before I go, it was one last comment. I know. It's one comment, but please hear me out. It is so good. It is so good. But, oh shit, I hope I can find it. Oh man. Like I said, there's a lot of back and forth on this shit. Damn. Okay. I know I'm gonna find it. I gotta find it, because this shit was something I was like, Nick. And I was like, no, you didn't. It like I was scared for a minute. Okay. Damn. Okay, now I found it. Now, this was hilarious to me because essentially I made a sarcastic comment to someone else. They don't worry, they're good people. They're good people. What is it? It is Sig Marvion 7891. I believe that's I'm butchering it, but you know, yeah, usernames are whatever. But they basically just said something to being like, don't forget the ugly female characters, another piece of the ESG puzzle, gotta avert that pesky male gaze. I said something sarcastic because I was just being sarcastic. And then like one of the things I said was, I'm confused. There are hot women in gaming, just a little fun, being sarcastic, just having a little laugh with this person. But I feel like they responded seriously to me, and it threw me for a loop because I was like, "Oh no, I hope they didn't take this. I was joking." And I was like, "No, they had a good comment. I was just joking around with them." But this is what they said. I'm gonna read this in its entirety, and I'm gonna try to. But it's such a hard hitting thing that I want to end on. That's why I made it the last thing. Whew. I was like, so I said that there's hot women in gaming thing. Ha ha ha. Right. This is what they said. Depends on the game. One of the tenets of the cult, let's face it, it's a cult, says that games can't have attractive female characters in them because not only it objectifies women and prefers to the male gaze, and panders to the male gaze, but also because hot women are offensive to ... certain people who are not hot nor can ever look like hot women despite their surgeries. Power through, god damn. I wasn't even thinking of that, and they went there. My brain didn't even go there, and they went there. They continue, and these people must not be offended. Ooh. If you don't have an underlined word in your brain right now, I am sorry. This is me talking. I am sorry, but you missed it, and this shit just, whoo! Oh, that just that got me good. They continue. So gamers will try their best to make the female characters bland. Boring, unattractive, or even downright manly looking. Now, he put gamers here, but I feel like it should have been developers, but he might be continuing on with his statement, but he did make it kind of separate. But essentially, like, adding on, this is all to be done so gamers can make the female characters bland, boring, unattractive, or even downright manly looking. This motherfucker right here, with his goddamn godly brain, then named the bullshit that has existed and is proven time and time and time and time and time and time again that this shit don't work. And he goes, or they go, or she go, I don't know, but damn it, they did it. They didn't do it like Diddy, but they still did it. They named Mortal Kombat 1, Concord, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, Dustborn, Veilguard, Star Wars Outlaws, Horizon. You get the picture. Yes, I do, and goddammit, I don't like looking at it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of my 100 subscribers celebration stream 100 subscribers celebration video that I did responding to the dumbass comments that I had, plus one good one. Now I will leave you, as I can clearly tell this has been enough. To anyone who has stayed this long or just been listening to my sultry voice past the time, I thank you kindly. This has been another episode of Fun with Flame. I will definitely be making more videos in the future. Oh, you know what's even funny? I filled out an application earlier, and upon filling it out, it asked me, what is my gender? And it had male and female. I just thought about that. Like, what does that tell you about the generalized scope of everything that I just fucking mentioned in this bullshit? These people are fucking stupid. Anyway, this has been another episode of Fun with Flame. I've been your host, Danieltheflame, and it's always good people. I hope you had fun. Isn't it funny that I'm going out at the end of my fucking Dragon Age video when my character clearly is dead and there's no way in hell I'm gonna live? Oh boy, because Varric was just the worst. That's why in Veilguard, he's fucking dead. Stupid ass game.